Hey guys, this is Arnobliss98, and here we have Ratchet version 2 from the first 2007 Transformers movie, and technically Revenge of the Fallen. I do plan to make him again in Dark of the Moon colors. I'll probably do that when I make more Dark of the Moon characters, because he does take up a lot of parts. And so it's been 5 years since I made my first version of Ratchet. He was actually my second movie Transformer I've ever made, and so this is a much needed update. And it's been a while since I actually touched the design. I will show off my version 1 because I do have that around later, and I really want to focus on making him as accurate as possible. And the build process was pretty fun because I never worked with this design in a while, and I learned a lot of new things about the CGI model that I never knew when I was younger. And yeah, the studio file is in the description below. I also have the studio file for his Dark of the Moon repaint, so you can pick and choose if you want. I will get to the Dark of the Moon one later, once again. And yeah, I definitely do prefer the 2007 colors. It's really iconic, like that lime green and red, and his whole design is pretty iconic. Probably because there's not too many lime green Transformers in the movies, or in general, that much. And to start here is his alt mode. He is a search and rescue modified Hummer H2. And yeah, this is probably the most detailed vehicle mode in the first movie for the Autobots, because there's a lot of small details going on here. You got that red stripe going through. The biggest challenge in making this guy is that I realize hinges don't come in that many, there are not that many hinges that come in lime green than I realized, so I had to work around it to make the alt mode look very cohesive. And I think I did a good job. As you can see, these hinges don't come in lime green. It's not a big deal because I got most of the rest down. There's just a lot of details. They got 3 lights in the front. The roll cage, whatever, turned out really nice. It's like I use these droid arms to kind of pretend that they're wrapping around. 2 headlights. I got the front bumper and the lights here. His alt mode has like a ton of detail on it, and the red stripe going through. It kind of breaks up here. I originally had this as a small tile, but it caused the shoulders to become very fragile, so I had to sacrifice that. The mirrors. He got the light bar on top here, and the 4 lights here. Even though these don't connect together, this is accurate to the movie because they are like, there's a small gap in the middle where the lights are. And then yeah, I just love the sides smooth, and the wheels too. They're pretty big. On my prototype I had the smaller wheels, but I decided to use the technique I used on Hound to make them look bigger, and they work perfectly in this mode. And coming to the top, you got a spare tire. You got the more of this wiring, hosing, whatever, and the little details here, whatever these are. The back is the ugliest part. I tried my best to replicate that rear windshield he has with these clear pieces. It works fine. There's a gap here, that's fine. And flipping him to the bottom, he has a visible head syndrome, but other than that, not too bad. And once again, he does roll very well in this mode. Unfortunately, the front wheels here tend to angle outwards. It has to be like that for transformation, to have them that loose, but he does roll very well with these giant tires. Spinning around, you can see how smooth he is in alt mode. It's kind of weird. Lime green shows up pretty bright on my camera for some reason, but it's funny because this is actually kind of closer to his Dark of the Moon colors. And for size comparison, we have a minifigure, and we got Ravage, and we have Last Night Crosshairs. Ratchet's alt mode is pretty chunky and big. And here's Ratchet next to the Last Night Hound. They're both big trucks and kind of medics, I guess. Oh, I'm not sure about Hound though. And as you can see, I use the same tire technique. If you want to know how it works, it's just one of these larger tires. It fits on here pretty well. I don't see that many I don't see these slipping off, which is good. And we have his Dark of the Moon Deluxe toy and his Studio Series toys. I did double dip on this mold. And here's Ratchet with the rest of the 2007 movie crew. Yeah, I'm getting there. I have Jazz, Bee, Optimus, and yeah, Ratchet. And I haven't made Ironhide yet. I definitely am going to make him, of course, if I want to complete the crew. And of course, a new Camaro Bee. I need to do that too. Yeah, now we're back to where we started with the version 1. This is technically a version 1.5 because I did update a few things like the windshield color and the head. But yeah, things have really changed over the years. I don't want to say one is better than the other. These 2 Ratchets go for different things. My old one is supposed to be more like a simple, kind of like puzzle transformer. Like him and Bone Crusher were the first two movie Transformers I made. I was aiming for like simplicity and fitting in minor details, but I realized with the other designs from that movie I couldn't do that at a small scale, so they got bigger and more accurate. This is where this guy comes in. But yeah, they look nice together. I'm glad I kept this guy around all these years, because he is pretty fun to mess with, even though he's lacking a bunch of details, especially like the top and some stuff here. But yeah, this is my progression over 5 years. And now into the transformation. Ratchet transformation is pretty much the Studio Series toy with a bunch of extra steps to make it more accurate. And to start, first we gotta do is take these lights here. These will actually fold outwards, and then you shift them back. It's a new thing, not on the Studio Series toy, but you'll find out where these end up. And then you shift these back, like that. And then coming up to the top here, you want to take this whole top panel, fold it upwards. And you can see inside, he's mostly hollow space. He does mass shift actually. He goes from a chunky Hummer into a slenderish robot. And now you gotta, you want to just take these wheels, rotate them out some more. As you can see here, there's that gray little bit. It's a tabbing point. So you want to get in there and untab it. Just push your hand here and just wiggle. There you go. And that frees up this panel from here. It tabs right into here, in case you want to know the reverse transformation. And same for this side. Just like that. And of course these will become his legs. Just fold these down just for now. And next up we got to get these arms out. First of all, they all come out. This is like the whole arm area. You just want to grab it and just start wiggling. As you can see from under here, it's a double hinge. This is like the main joint, and this is like the shoulder joint. Just kind of pull it out. Once again, like the Studio Series toy. It's not bad to get him into vehicle mode, to be honest, because things actually do tap into place. And there you go. And then you want to just rotate this down for now. Fold this panel up. And I'm going to deal with the legs. First of all, you want to fold these back, and these will become his hip wheels. They're on a series of a bunch of hinges here. Sometimes I just like to abuse these pieces to get a bunch of nice geometries with them, allow them to fold up very well. And there you go. And now for the legs, fold this up, that'll be his knee pad. You fold this section down like this, and you fold this up, and then take this section, and you want to fold it outwards, shift it upwards, and just rest it on here for now, because you want to turn this 180. Fold it back up, take this knee pad, shift it to the middle, and then fold this backwards like that. And then now this section here, you want to pull this part out, rotate it, and then fold it like that, sticking out. That'll be his heel. And then this section here is gonna just flip back here to form a detail. And then this panel here is just gonna close it up, close up the leg like that. And that's one leg. And the other leg, same like that. Fold up, knee pad, fold this down. Fold this outwards, shift it up, and rotate this 180. And then coming here, just like that, rotate this. I'm pretty sure by the time I'm at this point I finished transforming the version 1, because that one is pretty simple. Rotate this back, fold this panel inwards, shift this to the middle. The legs were the hardest part, one of the hardest parts to figure out. It was kind of hard to make him fill out the space, because his truck is pretty big and they turn into these really slender legs. Yep, his legs are all done. And now for the upper body, you want to take these panels, just rotate them outwards and fold them up for now. Same for this side, and fold them up, rotate them like that. And then you want to fold this outwards again, and fold this outwards. And now for the front bumper area, this is, you'll start to see this flop down, that's okay. That does a few changes. First you want to take these sections, fold them inwards. And in order to get these lights to look triangular, as you can see there's a bar going through here on a clip. You just push on this middle light and it's going to shift down. I really want to nail this because it's a pretty important detail. So there's lights in the triangular position. And then you got to rotate this 180. Like the Studio Series toy. His head was just hiding here. Fold it down like that. And then now this section here, it's going to fold this section down. It's going to rotate. Make sure these are out forward. 180 also. Like that. It's a little hard to see what's going on, but and then the waist here has to rotate 182. You can kind of see the strut going on here. It's connected to the front windshield. You want to push that up here as far as possible. Just fold that up for now, and then the waist will go 180. It's going to fold down onto here, and this section is going to fold onto here. And that's the whole torso. Just line everything up. Fold this back for now. And then his head is just going to plop right there. And now for the arms, they're pretty fun. It was fun designing them and trying to figure out where everything went based off the CGI model. Coming to the back here, these are his hands. You want to tuck this into here, fold his hand down, take this panel, rotate this around, and put it off to the side. Same with this section. I like how they fold up kind of like the CD Series toy, except there's like panels on the outside hiding them a little better. And then rotate this around, and rotate that forward. Okay. And now this part here, I just leave this outwards. You want to fold this forward here. And this part is a little interesting. It took me a while to figure this out too. There are a set of hinges going through here. The first hinge is going to fold back onto here. And then the second hinge is going to shift upwards on this sliding joint. Like that. Just keep this out for now. Take the mirrors, just rotate them upwards. You get them out of the way. And now this section here, you want to fold this inwards, and actually before you do that you want to shift it upwards, because in the CGI they do fold upwards a bit more. And then this wheel here, it's just gonna fold all the way back. I know it's not accurate, but it's the only way I can get it to work. And then finally, take this section, fold it back to cover the back of the arm, and then take this section over here, shift this forward, and just set it right on top of the wheel right here to form his lights. And then same for the other side. It was a really smooth transformation. I don't think it had anything break off just yet, which is kind of cool. Just rotate this up. I bet something will break off, but it's pretty sturdy. The prototype was kind of flimsy though. And then you want to come over to here, fold this back. And I haven't cut anything because something broke yet. Shift this forward and fold this up, and I'm gonna rotate this forward. Take the front wheel. As you can see the joint where the wheel is based off of. It's a little loose in order for it to fold down for the geometry of this to work. And rotate this panel back like that, and rotate this and fold this. Let's see, forward. There you go. And standing him up, we're not done yet. Next we gotta deal with his backpack, which is really cool. I like how it's turned out. It's like a mess of hinges and droid arms, but you want to fold this section down, and this peg will go into here. Rotate this panel backwards. Take these sections, fold them back, and due to this droid arm, this like solid block, support block, is gonna go into here because of the arms here. It's like that, and then you set them forward, fold this back. These two sections are gonna fold inwards, and these two sections are gonna fold back and fill in this area, which is a cool geometry also. And there's his backpack, and standing Ratchet up. And here we have Ratchet in his robot mode, and yeah, I really wanted to make him pretty spot on to the CGI, even though that model does accomplish some pretty impossible things. To start here, we have his head. It's pretty much a beefed up version of my updated 1.5 version of Ratchet, the one you just saw. I just wanted to make it a bit longer and get some more detail for the face. The chest turned out nice. I got that little grill on the truck, and of course a triangular pattern of the lights, which is nice. And yeah, coming to the details, the shoulders were something I really wanted to get right. In the movie model, it's like pretty much like a bunch of shards, and it does kind of replicate that chaotic look of it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the wheels. They kind of sit like exactly where the shoulder joint is, which is kind of crazy. When I was using the smaller wheels, these actually sit forward a bit, but they sit flat in order to accommodate these lights. Which I'm so happy I got these to be the actual lights in the top of the truck, not fake ones. It took me so long to like figure out this mess of like panels that would allow that to fold over in robot mode. And I just love how this looks. The back is pretty clean actually. I like it. His backpack actually sits pretty far, but due to the shoulders you can't really tell, and it's fairly accurate too. And yeah, you got some red detailing coming through here. I like how the hands turned out. These parts don't come in lime green a lot, these hinges, so it's pretty gray in this area. But I'm glad I got these fingers to work because I knew these horns came in lime green, so they would work perfectly for his fingers. I was gonna use clips, but they articulate too, so there's that. And the legs, you got the hip wheels. He has a pretty iconic thigh design with that like detail there, kneecap, and then his there. I think his legs are like this in the CGI. They kind of bend backwards and come forward, so I'm glad I got that. And yeah, not much, just a bunch of detail. One thing I got, you know, he has these like circular discs on his shoulders. They're represented by these. Yeah. And in terms of articulation, he's actually not that bad. His head obviously is on that T-joint, so you can look up and down and like that. His shoulders are probably the worst part of articulation. You can only move that far out. You can move up a bit. The wheels get in the way, but it's still fine. Like, it's not like his toys were that articulated either. He just has this like cluster of truck panels on his arm. He has that extra joint here. I borrowed this technique from my Bumblebee Prime. Bend at the elbow here. He has an extra joint here for transformation, and hand joint also for transformation, but it could also be that. And then once again you got the articulating fingers, though you can't really firmly grab anything. Coming over to here, his torso actually has a waist articulation due to transformation, and because I wanted it to work out like that. It's because of that ball joint in there. And his hips, the wheel does obstruct movement, but you can always move them around, so you can kind of do the splits right there. And you can move forward that much. Almost 90-degree bend at the elbow, knee. It's a little obstructed by the kibble and whatever is in here. He does pivot here and move forward and back. So he has a good, decent angle tilt too, so it helps with posing. Yeah, you can get him to kneel and do some poses. Not too much fancy work for the shoulders. And for accessories, we got his saw blade. I don't remember him using it that often. I only remember when he used it to cut off Brawl's arm in Mission City. It's just a simple saw piece. I didn't want to go for something really fancy. To keep it simple. It's not like perfectly accurate, but it just clips onto his hand and it doesn't spin that much, but it looks cool. Just a saw. And next up, we have his gun. This is pretty iconic and unique looking weapon. I really wanted to nail it. It is a bit oversized, but I'm actually really happy I got like the ribbing over here of the actual gun, and he has this like bottom section and that little spike piece. Unfortunately, I couldn't replicate this on the other side because this is where it goes into his arm. So coming over to here, as you can see, it is a clip and it goes at the same port as the saw does. It kind of just clips right into here, and it closes over his arm. As you can see, this little hinge here. You want to bend the arm down a little bit, and then this will just kind of form over it like that. Yeah, I love this, the look of this gun. It's pretty cool. Yep, as you can see, it kind of looks like it comes out of his arm. And here he is posing with the gun and the saw blade. These were fun accessories to make. Alright, so robot mode comparisons. We got Ravage, Minifig, Then we got his Dark of the Moon Deluxe. And the Studio Series Deluxes. Here we have the Last Night Hound. I think they scale pretty nice together. And Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. And here's Ratchet with the 2007 movie crew so far. I think the scaling works perfect. Once again, I think Jazz might be a little too short. If so, I might update him, but I think he's fine right now. And Ratchet scales perfectly with Optimus. Actually, most of my Transformers, or my larger ones, are built to scale with Optimus in mind. So there's that, and yeah, I definitely will make Ironhide in the future, and new Camaro B. And here's Ratchet with a Ratchet version, my first Ratchet. And you can see things have changed quite a bit in robot mode, especially. The funny thing, the transformation for this guy is based off the original 2007 Voyager. And yeah, it's really simplified, and well, the actual first version, his head was like a cheese loaf and a stud, so this is like a little upgrade from that. Yeah, this guy's really simple, but he's fun to transform, and this guy's fun to transform too. He just takes a bit longer. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I'm very happy how Ratchet turned out. I wanted to make him as accurate as possible, unlike my version 1, which I still like that one, because even though it does go for different goals and it is much simpler. But yeah, this Ratchet looks so nice next to my Autobots. I'm slowly growing up my Autobot collection from the first 2 movies, since I've been focusing mostly on Decepticons last year. So yeah, once again, the studio file for this guy and Dark and Moon repaint, whichever one you prefer, is in the description below. I might make some kind of reverse transformation guide. This guy isn't too bad to transform back into his truck mode. And yeah, I have a few more Transformers to show off soon. Ironhide unfortunately isn't one of them, but I will make him in the future to complete the 2007 movie Autobots. And I'll catch you guys then.